According to the Department of Water and Sanitation, 50% of South Africa's drinking water is unsafe for consumption. This is a result of poor infrastructure that experts say needs urgent intervention. Melanie Humphries is Head of Sustainable Solutions at Investec, and she joins us now. Melanie, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, a very important discussion, especially looking at the current situation we're faced with when it comes to accessing water. How do you think that homeowners can begin now to grapple their head around such challenges and start looking for ways around it, because the water is clearly a problem?
Yeah, good afternoon, and thanks for the opportunity. With the Blue Drop report being released this week, I think it's brought renewed focus on just the level of the water crisis that we face in South Africa, and the need for South Africans to leverage the opportunity to be part of the solution. And so much like with the energy crisis and homeowners taking ownership of their sustainable future by, for example, solving around solar, we also see South Africans now thinking about the scarcity of water and the impact that has and the role they can play. Also the security of water and how to come up with some backup solutions. And then very importantly, as we've seen from the Blue Drop report, some scary numbers coming out in terms of the quality of the water in many of our water supply systems. And so the quality of water and how to filter water has become top of mind for homeowners.
What are the do's and don'ts, would you say, if they're looking for a more sustainable option?
Yeah. For me, the do's and don'ts starts with, firstly, using less. And it speaks to the scarcity of water. South Africa is a water-constrained country. And, Cape Townians would tell you that a South African does not need to spend and use 200 litres of water a day. And so there's some obvious things each one of us can do in terms of preserving water, showering, not bathing, having more water and energy efficient gardens, and then of course implementing some of the technical solutions around water rain harvesting, grey water systems that can help reuse the water that we use in our sanitation and washing spaces in our house.
And with more and more calls for innovation in water management, what would you say are perhaps the alternative water solutions? Because it looks like it's become very clear that that in itself has become an urgent necessity now.
Yeah. The most obvious solution, speaking to the availability and security of water for a South African, is to look at a municipal backup system. The notion of going off-grid doesn't really apply in this instance, but having a backup, a supplementary source of water, in the case of outages that we have seen with some of the infrastructure challenges, specifically in Gauteng over the last while, is a really important thing. And that backup system can be as simple as a tank with a link into the municipal water system or filtration system before it goes into your house, that's then pumped into your house. And that is then a circular system that supports you. And to the extent that we then have a water outage, you can use that in order to supplement the municipal water that you would otherwise have. Other solutions would be a borehole, but that comes with its own technical challenges, and it can be fairly expensive, and you don't know if you're going to find water and what the quality of that water is, and you're needing to treat it. And so as you think about solutioning, you also need to think about what the cost of it will be, and very importantly, how you're going to continue to test and treat and maintain that water system that you've put in.
Absolutely. I mean, the funding solutions are indeed, I suppose, the most important part of it. What are the solutions that are available?
Yeah, thanks for the question, because I do think that this is a very exciting space for banks, where I think banks have played a critical part in terms of supporting South Africans in their journey towards sustainable energy and continue to do so. And Investec has also developed a water funding product specifically tailored for our clients in order to help solve. And I'm sure some of the other banks will follow with that too. I think the provision of capital in this space is critical. And in partnership with the homeowner, we can certainly start taking ownership of what the future may look like.
So in the interim, I mean, there are long-term and short-term solutions. What would you say would be some of the short-term solutions as one tries to work around the funding option and exploring the other sources?
Yeah. There's short-term quick wins. So many a household is concerned about the quality of water. As we've seen from the Blue Drop report, 46% of the water coming from our water supply systems is under question from a quality point of view. And so the installation of a filtration system in your home, which is a fairly inexpensive option, costing around 2,500 rand, could be a good way to start, and then to think about a backup solution. I also believe that, and the Minister speaks to this as he releases the report, that government has a critical role to play in terms of how we deal with this crisis. And the release of these reports and creating transparency around the extent of the issue that we face and the degradation of our water system over the last 10 years is a good step in terms of them going into the right direction for the future. Of course, the long-term challenges and what's required will take a little bit more to talk about.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for weighing in on this discussion. Melanie Humphries, Head of Sustainable Solutions at Investec.